Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. I'm your host, Colors Fade. It's episode 14. We are still on the quest to become the Flagship's blood. So we've been following this along, the various poems in the freight line. Now we're going to wander in this direction. Symbol. I can still see the colors emanating from it, akin to blood mixed with milk. The boot print has smudged this symbol slightly. The trail leads onward toward the slums. Now, the lowest walks of life. It's important that you talk to certain people during this quest to progress this quest as well. So we want to be able to do certain things here. Look over there. No, don't gawp. It's the Rogue Trader. These people are over here fighting with knives and sending blood everywhere. The kids have been waiting for you. How's your shift? We worked hard. I helped out a friend with the loading and he gave me some cards, ration cards. Take them and exchange them for new shoes. Yours are all worn out. And again, just this whole area here, giving you an idea of the scale of this ship. I already made your bed for you, so once we've eaten, you will go and rest. The little ones and I will head out to the marketplace and leave you in peace. All these families in these lower decks where things are really poor. And there's rivers of sludge running through here. It's an incredible thing. Why did the Emperor send me such a wonderful way? It's pretty interesting. And there's a big vat over here. This skull. I mean, there's skulls all over this game. The skull iconography it'd make any death metal band jealous. So we need to head around here, and along the way you want your perception checks to go off. There's a bunch of goods around here, so you're going to want to pick them up and use the map to make sure you can see stuff. Threads of rat carcasses and yellow-green moss stew in the cloudy sludge. Yuck. Along with other unidentifiable ingredients. Ugh. That'll give you the willies. There's some goods right there. There's some goods in various places over here. You can make an athletics check. There we go. That's why you want it to go off, so you can get that stuff.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
There's one over here, and then there's one up in this location up here. You can actually go up here. There's this book. And it is the Book of War Prayers. The wearer deals 10% more damage to Xenos and demons. If the wearer has conviction dogmatic, the bonus is double. So the person who has the biggest AoE, who can do a lot of damage, is Cassia. Now there's not going to be, well, there are going to be Xenos later actually, and demons. So this is good that she gets that on right now. Yeah, I was thinking there aren't any Xenos or demons for a while, but there are actually. So goods here. More of these ration cards. You can do an athletics check to cross this, but there's no reason. You can just go back around. No reason to take a wound there. There's an old man right here. Blindfolded old man. He's the guy you want to talk to. Well, he's one of them, actually. You want to talk to the foreman to advance the quest, though. So, this blind old man here, and I don't know. Are we going to need the persuasion gloves? Are they going to work? Let's flip those on and see. We may be able to. He's got a check here. An old man in pitiful rags listens intently to the sounds of your footsteps. A stinky piece of cloth is wrapped around his eyes with greenish pus oozing out from under it. The old man lays his trembling hands protectively on the heap of junk that serves as his bed, as well as his table. An empty beggar's mug makes a clinking sound next to his withered leg. Throw a strip of dried ration meat into his mug. Here, have something to eat. The old man ravenously sinks his remaining teeth into the meat's tough fibers, but soon gives up on chewing and swallows the pieces whole. Could this be a true miracle of the Emperor, or is this just another dream? What happened to your eyes? The void rats gnawed them out while I sleep. And the sewer water my wounds were washed with was infected, turns out. The pain becomes a stinging feeling that won't go away and only got worse. How does a blind old man manage to survive in a place like this? People help me. Good people. Not so good ones, too. He sweeps his withered arm vacantly around the slum. So, you need to be over here. You need to... Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is what you need to happen. Oh, it's a Lore Imperium check, though. You're not going to pass that.
Why? Haven't I studied hard enough?
So if you pass that check, it can cause a bunch of people over here to become hostile because it's contraband. But that didn't happen. So who we need to talk to over here is the foreman, wherever he's at. He can be hard to pick out sometimes. There he is, right there. The day the Lord Captain wandered into our slum will be remembered in legends. The broad-shouldered man raises a hand in greeting. His old prosthetic creaks plaintively as he takes the weight off his body. The locals and the enforcers call me the foreman. I have no other name. You might say I'm in charge here, in this hole of a place. You recognize the shaggy red beard and the keen black eyes. This is the man who was watching you during your encounter with the enforcer and the station worker. I saw you near the marketplace. What were you doing there? Watching one of my workers take a beating. I feel sorry for the lad, but there was nothing I could do. The foreman smiles wryly, showing his yellow teeth. Almost all the front ones have been knocked out. I've stuck my neck out in the past. Not doing it again. What are you cooking in that vat? Believe it or not, this soup made from the mold slime and technical drain water has been simmering here in this vat for at least 200 years, non-stop. See the growth on the walls over there? We harvest it, dry it, and use it to season the soup. If we're lucky, the smell attracts a void rat and someone gets to have meat in their bowl. The foreman points a finger proudly toward the vat. It's for those who can't even earn a ration card. I feed them in exchange for service or favors. Sometimes it pays off. Sometimes it doesn't. My people keep an eye out for workers trying to eat 2 bowls in one sitting. One is enough to fill your stomach for an entire watch. Some complain about the taste, of course. Ingrates. Tell me what life is like for the workers on the lower decks. They toil day in and day out for the glory of the ship. The rest of the time they do their best to survive, faced with hunger. The more deranged of the enforcers. Void, leprosy, fires, floods, noxious fumes. The foreman lists these on his fingers, although he has fewer than nature's average to work with. In a word, it's a decent enough life. If you work, you survive. If you freeload, you also survive if you're clever. Well, and if the God Emperor wills it. Give the foreman a pile of ration cards. Hand these out to the people. You'll know who needs them the most. He opens and closes his mouth in astonishment. Lord Captain, you've just helped some good families survive. I'll divide the cards among them, and be sure to tell them that it was your lordship who did them this good turn. I seek the blood-spun web's temple. Do you know where it is? The cultists? They don't let people like me in on their rites and mysteries. I'm grateful to them for their service to the God Emperor, but to be honest, I can't get behind their love of death. I'm much too fond of living. I can understand that. Lord Captain, I beg another second of your attention. Please accept this humble gift from us, the common people of the Bay, for all the good you do us. The most precious thing we could get for your lordship, a hidden auto-stimulant. If the wearer did not move during their turn or became immobilized, slowed, stunned, or knocked prone, they gain temporary wounds equal to 6. If the wearer has conviction iconoclast, all their allies immediately gain the same number of temporary wounds. So it's nice for an iconoclast. I don't have any devices right now, so I might as well put it on because I'm probably the only iconoclast in the group right now. I'm at 39 to 45. And if we look at everybody, well, she's heretical. That's right. She's considered a heretic. She's dogmatic. He's dogmatic. She's dogmatic, big time, 200 to 300. And then he is a mix. But right now, Abelard is actually iconoclast. That's cool. We have some influence on him, which is nice. There's some goods up here. More ration cards. And then, let's see. Oh, yeah, there's some loot over here. Okay, and there's some loot over here. We should go back and get this. I'm gonna try to see where this loot is at exactly. I don't like missing loot in here because we gotta go back across this bay. Across this bridge. It's over here, I think.
Need to be made.
Yep, right there. We missed that. It's a good idea why to check the map frequently, more frequently than I've been doing. And then down here on this end, where, oh yeah, this thing. Okay, so we got to do this. I forgot about this. I was wondering where this was. I was like, I don't remember. There's some loot back behind here, but you have to move this big ass box to get to it. So what you need to do is come up here, touch one of these. It's going to make the claw move over in this direction. It's going to make the claw move over in that direction. Then you're going to do this. It's going to lower it.
Let's not waste time with pleasantries.
We are the
It's
spearhead
an
of the
Abelard
Imperium.
over here. One of us, I think. I don't. Yeah, it's not a check. You just have to secure the claws to it.
Yes.
And then any old person can touch this again. Make this move up out of the way. Then you can come over here. Open the door. And there's some goods there. And there's a pickaxe, a power pick. This weapon has an extra attack action which increases armor penetration on all subsequent attacks made against the same target by +10 for 1 round. Stacks.
I always keep my options open.
So there's that. And then there's nothing else really going on. We're going to mosey back through here. Get back down below. We got to take this ramp down. And you can see there's the next blood spun web marking on the ground there. Your lordship, please. A ration card. There's some goods over here. No, no, no. Don't go there. Don't go there. Come down here. It's right down there. Gotta rotate the camera around. It's kind of impressive what Alcat did here with this engine, because this is really multi-leveled, and it mostly works. I mean,
The shadows reveal their secrets.
so let's do demolition here and get rid of that.
The Vizier. Would he be proud? Am I?
And that was, what was that? Let's do this. Date from newest to oldest. What is this? Crumpled scrap of parchment. Give our gift to the ones who see nothing but hears everything. Then the truth will be revealed to you. Oh, really?
Keep
All
your
right, so
wits
we got-
about you.
Yep, the game's auto-saving here. We got to get to the last group of people over here. The last check that we need to make for Bloodspun Web. Stop being so bloody difficult. What's that thing the death cultists say? Your time has come, or whatever, have you? This giant fan. No, please. What did I do? Oh, and they killed by the fan. Talk about being everywhere at once. How about we take this stuff to the marketplace? We'll get to eat soup tonight. We got some real scumbags here. So, we're going to go up here and make
I always have a backup
grab
plan.
some goods up here. There's going to be a fight, though. I think we can just walk around. So, you want to talk to her, Zidane the Outcast, but before we do that, we want to go through here and grab everything and do this fight. There's a leper here. Why doesn't the Emperor send his spinners to punish me for my faults? I guess I don't deserve to die by a blade, only the rot of the pestilence pits.
This is intriguing.
My Auspex has detected something.
Yes, lots of little demolitions over here.
Just as he
You would
ordained.
think if there were a bunch of traps here that you would get some really good
Shame
loot
and
out of
dishonor.
this. Shame and dishonor. Darling, what's going on here?
Just as I was taught.
But I don't remember there being anything special here.
I do what I must.
Pascal,
The machine
you're up.
mode
Oh,
runs
there is good stuff here. All right. Crimson Intoxicants. The user loses all their temporary wounds and increases their melee damage by the same amount for 1 round. That's kind of special. The Martyr's Bone Charm, worn by a death cult assassin, so really it's only for Cabela. When they wear it, gains a stack of Blood Blessed. They also gain +10 toughness for 2 rounds. Does not stack. it's not really important for her to wear that because her hit points are going to come from Medicaid. And then she gets a Death Cult Assassin gloves. Whenever the wearer kills an enemy, that enemy explodes in a fountain of blood, and the cells nearby are covered in the blood as if affected by the blood vial. That thing is awesome, though. So what do we got for her? Let's see. Oh, and then she didn't have to make a persuasion check, so she should put these back on. So over here, she's got this attacks of opportunity deal additional agility damage bonus, but let's go with this instead. What am I wearing? I'm not wearing anything. I'll do additional agility damage. She doesn't have anything in this slot for right now, so this will help. And I don't think she has the ability. Yeah, her toughness is affecting her hit points right now. Later on, when her Medicaid affects her hit points, then that kind of becomes a useless trinket for her. So, and then I don't really think we have any other clothes here or anything that we need to worry about. I'm gonna put some of this in the cargo. Weapons, we've got a bunch of them. I don't think there's any upgrades for anybody. I'm going to take a quick second and check, though. Death Cultist is doing the work here. The only thing that was worth changing out here is the shield for Abelard, the Stronghold. Whenever the wearer blocks an attack, they gain 12 temporary wounds. So that's better than when he has it. Also has a little bit more shield block chance. So we're going to swap that out for him. And let him have that. And then we're going to head off in this direction. There's some goods right here. The Lord Captain has spent too much time in the pestilence pit by the void ship's freight line, and now his skin is covered in inflamed blisters. You get this suspicious rash. Your character's dodge, hit chance, and parry are reduced by 10%. You can get rid of this when you go back to the bridge if you talk to someone on the bridge, and we'll see who it is. They'll get rid of it, and sometimes maybe just even going to the bridge will automatically get rid of it. So there's like 3 different ways to get rid of that. It's not important right now. We're going to come down here. We're going to talk to these outcasts.
Or get left in the dust.
Let's see. I'm going to go talk to this dude.
Miscalculations are for commoners. I don't make mistakes.
Grab that and
I
then
make
talk to the
profitable
outcast
learning
leader.
Experiences.
The specimens before you must be the most repellent inhabitants in the compartment. They are covered in sores and bald patches glistening with pus. And the stench of unwashed bodies brings a tear to your eye. One of them glowers at you and grunts. What you want? I am the Lord Captain of this ship. Oh yeah. For what crime did you kill this man? Grinning, the leader spits out. For the crime of wealth. That dead bastard had rations and fuel cells. Well, we'll trade them for porridge. What are you, mutants? Invalids? Mold eaters. Outcasts. Folks who have no place even among the lowest of the low. Some were born that way, some were driven out to keep them from spreading the contagion. The foreman won't let us near the vat. The enforcers try to shoot us on sight. It's as if it's our fault that we were born in a terrible place. We are worms in the rotten belly of this ship, fodder for disease. The outcast licks his lips, and you see a tongue studded with small, underdeveloped teeth. This is no disease, but an obvious mutation. The longer you stare at the man, the more deviations from the human form you detect. Wretches such as this, disfigured by genetic abnormalities and disease, are the perfect breeding ground for true corruption. Well, I see. You were sentenced to death for committing murder on my ship. The mutant bears the black stumps that are his teeth. We'll gut you and trade what you have on you for a pile of scran. Hey, outcasts, come on up if you want to share in the spoils.
I'll make an example out of you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun for you, huh? You got to get in a position to kind of like protect yourself, sister. What do you got? You're going to have 3 losers come down from this direction and 3 losers from that direction. So, Cass, just stay right there for now. Actually, you know what? Cassie, you're pretty good at dodging things. Or you're at least going to be over time. You can get some cover right there because it's going to help you shoot better. Abelard, protect Cassia and Pascal, maybe. Because you're going to go first. Okay, I got it. You're going to go first. Come at him from this angle then. And then Dolmen. Yeah, there's dudes up here. Okay, he's going to have to run down here. I'd rather you just come over here and help with this. So let's do that.
the ruinous powers!
Ruinous powers.
Death to the weak!
Bunch of scumbags running over here in this
Cannot
direction.
believe us.
Oh, yeah, they go. You're gonna get a shot at Cassia. Oh, Adira. Damn it. She is good at dodging, though, isn't she? Abelard, what would we like to do with these guys? Let's see. Trying to think about the best way to do this here. Yeah, let's just run up here and smack this guy
It will
down.
be done.
He parried, you rat. Okay. Can I taunt everybody in this direction? Yes. Okay, do that. Did they all fail it? Willpower test succeeded, failed, failed. So 2 of them, it worked for 2 of them. All right, we're going to give everybody around us a little more defense. He doesn't have a whole lot of action points yet, does he? Okay. We can do that, or we can do stalwart defense. Marks enemy within the area of effect and immediately ends a turn. Oh, yeah, but they're going to try to swing at Cassie. I'm not so worried about that. Let's just do shield bash on this guy. And he dodged it. So we can do this. Let's go like that.
Victory is imminent.
Guides me.
These guys are going to come over here.
I serve the ruinous powers.
Going to try to take a shot at me. Oh, he hit me. Oh, he hit me too. Oh, he kicked me. Okay. Cassia, where would you like to be? Let's see how many of these people we can move.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
That's what we like. Okay. I think there may be... Is there a way that we can get this in here? No, we're going to kill everybody. We'd get Adira. And, okay, it's not going to work. Let's do this. That's going to cost 2, so let's do this.
I have read tomes of military
We're going to give her
tactics.
voice of command, and then we're going to let her have a
Me?
turn with 2 AP.
If you insist, Lord Captain.
And so she can do... This is going to cost 2. All right, do it.
Let your soul be purged.
Oh, it's cool. The icon, the eye icon above there, you can see who's taunted. That's cool. All right, and then she still gets a death from above on somebody. Who's close to death? Anybody in here? Oh, that was nice. These guys are stinky. so they make it a little bit of toxin going on there. Why don't you just stay right there, Cass? Now we're back to her doing this. Oh, walk right over here. Don't worry, you're not going to get hit. Do this again. Okay. Now can we do... Yep, big strike. Oh yeah, baby. Love it.
Killing brings me no pleasure.
Yes, it does. Don't lie. You love your job. Adira. Who would you like to make more dodgery?
Anything
Pascal,
else?
because these guys are close. Oh,
Just a
God.
minor setback.
Woman. What's going on with you? Outcast, outcast,
Will do.
outcast. Let's give some strength to Abelard.
Anything else?
Let's set one of these guys on fire.
But of course, be calm.
Wow, she really killed him. That was awesome. Good job. Pascal?
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
That guy's got a lot of exploits on him now. We can do this. Little AoE. Like it. We like that. Joint analysis. Enough time to pull that off. Cabela, you can take care of that guy, but it's not going to matter.
I don't need luck. I have strategy.
Can we knife him?
Who if not me?
He parried that. No way. You son of a gun. Okay. Dang. Parried it.
Death
Stinker.
cannot believe us.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
Guides me.
3 losers up there.
I will not die in dishonor.
Wow, this guy's really effective. Man, I should say Can you block this guy? Nope, 49%. That's not going to happen. Okay.
Indeed.
33%. What is wrong with you, Abelard? You're not able to hit anybody with anything. Interesting. Okay.
It will be done.
Can you taunt a bunch of people in that direction? No. Can you
And you're
taunt either
back
one
in
of these
court.
guys? No, they must have both failed. It looks like they don't have the icon above them. Resistance test failed and failed, though, it says. Okay, that's interesting.
I serve the ruinous powers. High momentum.
All right, Cassie, you got high momentum. Well, that's interesting. What if we do... Oh, you can't see them from here. What if you go like this and then move these guys? Okay, that was helpful. Now, can we just do this? Don't get Pascal. Like that.
If I may.
Okay. I got one more thing here. I can do bring it down, and then I can do finest hour. What do we want to give bring it down to? Pascal, why don't you do
I'm
it?
not accustomed
I got
to
an
being
idea here.
ordered around.
You can knock this guy back. Might even kill him. Okay, that's good. Now do finest hour and hand it off to me.
I'll show you why navigators are feared.
Okay.
Don't let your guard down.
Can you manage to kill this
I'll
guy?
see to it. You never stood a chance.
That's what I wanted. Now run up here.
On it. You should have thought
Go.
twice before crossing me.
Make sure to kill him. And that's it. We're done. Okay. Cassie is done. Cabela. You could go over there and kill that guy, or you can come over here. I think you can get all of these people over here.
The shadows will see it done.
And then do this. 3 hits. Not quite everybody done there. Do this. That's what we like.
Trust me.
Just gonna get another jump. And that's done. Adira. I bet you give some defense to Abelard. Some extra dodge. This guy's got 2 hit points, so that's not really necessary. Just zap him. Yeah. That's it. Those guys died over there. So, okay. I took a wound.
Fate and fortune favor the bold.
Or what do they call these again? I always get it wrong. A fresh injury. I have a fresh injury. Use the right nomenclature. People will get mad if you don't. Cassie, where am I? I'm right there.
I won't forget this.
Alright. In that case, replenish his med kit. So all these people die. And there's this. The relished anguish. At the end of the wearer's turn, they gain temporary wounds equal to the amount of collision damage they inflicted during that turn. The only person who really does any collision damage is Pascal. So he can wear this for now if he wants to with their gloves, but I'd rather he just have his tech use because it gets him at 90. So over here, we need to go back up
Let us
now
not dawdle.
and talk to this lady. She's the final one. Zadina, the outcast. A figure in decaying tatters is rocking to and fro, muttering instinctively in several different voices, occasionally breaking into hoarse laughter. As you come closer, she freezes and turns slowly to you. An ugly, rusted mask covers her face. Are you here to take Zadina to the other side? No. No. You're just wandering around in the dark looking for the light, but it's nowhere to be found. Do you really not see it? There is a blood symbol next to you. I've seen such marks before. Is this another part of the song of trailing blood? Zadina burst into hysterical laughter. Oh, yes. The song. Here, listen. She wandered an eternity in dark, yet was consoled. Web foretold. Undying One's blood secrets glowed, a light to guide her faithful fold. But threads must end, and so the spider did that which was owed, her life and death to ship bestowed. She laughs again, and you'll see if you learn to see. Look into the darkness. Look. You peer into the darkness and are gradually able to make out the outlines of objects hidden in the shadows. Rotting corpses, rough walls, the twitching death throes of infected people left here to die. You see no light in this place, only more darkness and despair. You don't see it, do you? You don't see, Zadina says. She shakes her head frantically and starts tearing off her rags. Strips of her decaying flesh peel off along with them. You will not see until you become like Zadina, the flesh and the blood of this ship. How do I become the flagship's blood? Oh, Zadina will show you, and you'll see the true light. Come now. And Zadina is running. So we're going to follow her down here.
Wits about you.
Zadina has a plan. And away she goes. So if we check out the journal here, plunge into the ventilation shaft. It's the lowest walks of life. Leave your mark on your base. So we've succeeded in all of these. The one that I always miss is the one that says stop by the residential units. And I'm always thinking it's one of the doors you got to open or something, but it's really just talking to the foreman that triggers this one to be done. So we're good with that. The flagship's here. We can jump down. We'll take care of the rest of that quest later on. Oh, but let's level everyone up then. Okay. So back here on the Excel spreadsheet, we are at me. If I can get the spreadsheet in the right spot here. What the heck is going on? Okay, for some reason my Excel was being weird, but anyway, it's not anymore. So now you get to choose your second archetype, which is so much fun. So for him, he's going to be an executioner. They're specialists in inflicting and enduring excruciating pain on all enemies around them, exploiting it to quickly eradicate their adversaries. Their core focus is damage over time effects, melee damage, and negative effects, crowd control, large number of wounds. And they get their special ability, Carnival of Misery, which is awesome. Until the end of combat, all damage dealt to enemies by damage over time effects is increased by 100% after all other modifiers. These effects stacks and can be inflicted by more than one executioner. This thing's awesome. So in the very beginning of the game, in the first couple episodes somewhere, I mentioned how what you really need is a team of like 2 people who are called clearers. They clear the battlefield. And then everybody else more or less supports the clearers and gives them extra turns and buffs them. Pascal is kind of the exception to this. He's a bounty hunter. He kind of does his own thing. But the executioners become your clearers, and they're great at it. And this is a really fun class. If you're a pyropsycher, it's so much fun to play. So he becomes an executioner. Right away, he gets forced repentance whenever the executioner inflicts a damage over time effect on a target which is already suffering from an effect of the same type. The target immediately suffers an additional instance of damage over time. The damage over time effects of this type on this target have their level increased by +3, and this bonus stacks, and it's based on his Medicae skill. So again, his hit points are going to be made off of Medicae later on, and Medicae is going to affect other things like that. He also gets Scourging Strikes. The executioner's melee attacks inflict 10 levels of bleeding on all targets hit. This effect is applied after all other effects from the attack are applied, and then he also gets Where It Hurts. If the target of the executioner's next successful attack is under any damage over time effects, this target will immediately suffer 3 instances of damage from each of these effects. 2 instances if the executioner makes a burst or area attack. So that is fantastic. Again, they're just damage over time destroyers. This damage is dealt after all other effects from the attack are applied. Then all damage over time effects are removed from the target. This ability is applied instead of Scourging Strikes and removes all stacks of Force Repentance. So that is that. She's going to do the same thing. Executioner, it's all the same skills. Complete that for her. For Abelard, he is going to become a Vanguard. He gets Unyielding Beacon. Each attack against the Vanguard grants them a stack of Unyielding Beacon. And what this is yeah, And I think it just describes the same thing. Each stack increases their resolve by +1 up to a maximum of +15. That's converts into their momentum, which is what allows you to pull off your specials. All allies in a 2-cell radius around the Vanguard gain 1/5 of that bonus. Temporary wounds applied to the Vanguard now stack, but only remain stacked until the start of the Vanguard's turn. At the start of their turn, the remaining temporary wounds are reduced to the largest amount granted by one applied effect. If the remaining number of temporary wounds is less than the number of stacks of Unyielding Beacon, it becomes equal to the number, etc., etc. He's just a big taunting tank guy. So for Pascal, he's going to become a bounty hunter, and you can do a lot of different things with Pascal. You can decide to make him a grand strategist and make him more about augmenting the rest of the team. And the same thing with an overseer where he's going to get one of these, Cyber Mastiff or Raven or whatever. You could do different things to make him more of a support character. But let me tell you, the mechanics of being a bounty hunter are just really fun. So I like having him on the team as a bounty hunter. He gets Hunt Down the Prey to start with. Whenever the bounty hunter kills a target marked as prey, they gain a stackable bonus until the end of combat. The bonus depends on the enemy difficulty tier, the Roman numeral on the enemy's icon. Tier 1 to 2, the bounty hunter gets 25% of his maximum wounds as temporary wounds, and from tier 3 to tier 4, 5 times the prey's difficulty tier % critical damage, which is great, and then critical hit chance until the end of combat. So if you're killing tier 3s and tier 4s, your crit damage and crit chance go up, which is great. And then for anything above that, Hunt Down the Prey has 3 charges at the start of combat. They get both of the above, so they get temporary wounds and they get more crit chance and damage. So it's just a fun mechanic. You get Hunt Down the Prey, you select targets with Hunt Down the Prey, then you kill them and you get these bonuses, and then there's a bunch of other different bounty hunter related things. So it's kind of a blast. Cassia is going to become a grand strategist. God, I want to make sure that I get that right. You don't want to mess her up. Yeah, she's a grand strategist. And the biggest reason you want her to be grand strategist is she gets to go first every single turn. You're not going to use her grand strategy abilities, actually. It's just so she can go first and really hurt and stun and immobilize a lot of enemies. Grand strategists analyze the battlefield and create a specific areas on the ground called frontline, backline, and rear, and these get bonuses. And you get all kinds of additional bonuses and different things if you're poking points into her specific grand strategist abilities, but we're not going to do that because she's a navigator and that's where her real power comes from. So when it comes time to make choices about her specialized features, we're going to be choosing the navigator stuff instead of this. And then Adira ends up being an executioner. Now, I have also done her as a grand strategist, and she works out really well that way, because she ends up, you can put a bunch of points into the grand strategy features and she can make the strategy areas on the ground really effective. But I've had a lot of fun running her as an executioner because she gets Carnival of Misery with everybody else and stuff like that. So that's what I have her as on the Excel spreadsheet. I have her as this she's very similar to my character, except instead of using dual wielding weapons and running around in the battlefield and trying to kill people that way, she kind of buffs and then attacks people from range with flame weapons and grenades. So we're going to use her as an executioner as well. She gets all the same stuff. And that's what happens. All right. Now what we're going to do is this. The rotating blades promise nothing but a senseless and brutal death. Slipping past them will require some unreasonably precise calculations, or blind luck. While listening to the air currents for a moment, you think you hear Zadina's whispered prayer rising from the depths of the shaft. Well, off we go. Let's jump. It's jumping time. And so this ends up being a little weird, in my opinion. What happens next? You end up in this scaffolding section by yourself, and there's no point to doing anything around here. You just have to wander around through it, and there's some goods to pick up. And that's basically it. It's like, really? Was this whole section here necessary? It's just a little bizarre to me. This felt like This feels like an area that they gave an intern. He said, well, why don't you come up with something before we actually end up in the Bloodspun Web? I'm going to see if he can make this athletics check.
Failure is just a temporary setback. I'll learn from this mistake.
No, you won't. Because there's some
Always
goods
keep
over
your eye on
here.
the price.
So then you're going to make it back, which you get to do for free, which is nice. You don't have to make a check and keep failing it. So, I like that. What is this? Go down. There's like 2 more sets of goods somewhere in here. You can check the map and see they're on here. Where is this one at? Oh, it's up there. Okay, can you get up there? Nope, you
Is there
gotta...
money to be made?
Oh, we missed it. You can't get back up there now. Rats. Okay. Yeah, should have checked the map earlier. Oh, well. I just find this whole area so freaking weird. There's some goods down here. You go down here. It just feels so unnecessary. I couldn't for the life of me figure out why they put this in here. And then there's kind of a funny dialogue line when you finally get down here because the rest of your team is down here.
This could be an opportunity.
It could be. For more goods.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
There's death cultists. Then there's these people. There's Cabela. Spinners. The vizier of the Bloodspun Web. A frail old man, gray beard tinged with blood, folds his wrinkled hands in a ritual gesture. His body is covered in scars, some old, some fresh. His eyes are sewn tightly shut. His mouth is cleft at both corners, making his jaws seem eerily snake-like. And the Lord of the Ark walked to the paths of unlife in the footsteps of the web's very first spinner. And the servants of death bowed before him, for the Daemon is the giver of life. The old man goes still, his head turned to the side. He nods toward the temple's muffled silence. Yes, truth like a stream pours from your lips. We welcome him as the tenants demand. Your hues are almost as pale as the gray of your beard, Cassia says. But what is this? She flinches and takes a shuddering breath. A scarlet whirlwind shines through the faded colors. A servant of death who sees beyond the threshold. A spider who spins a cocoon at the end of his thread. Adira shakes her head and clutches her temples. Sorry about that, it just came over me. I didn't say anything too weird, did I? A thin blade appears in the old man's trembling hands. Although his arms are stiff and look like they can barely bend, in the next instant, the dynasty symbol is etched on his forehead, dripping blood. And with a brief motion, he flicks the blood off his blade and several drops land on your face. The Bloodspun Web welcomes its new lord. I am the Vizier. Many years we have waited, and now you are here. We have waited, whispers echo in your words from the shadows. Why is it that you invited me here? Death whispered your name and commanded us to honor you with a sacred ritual, but only inside the temple can the spinners perform it. The Vizier suddenly distracted by someone invisible and nods toward empty space. Yes, we are glad he has reached this place. We are glad to serve. What do you mean you have waited for many years? It was not so long ago that I was made my acquaintance with the cult. As I delve into my divinations from the flesh and blood of the departed ones, I turn to a relic most ancient and priceless. It is his tarot, inherited by the cult from the matriarch spider who spun the first thread. One of the readings I did back when I still had the strength to leave the temple and usher souls on their final journey. That was when, in the intricate tangle of destiny, I glimpsed our meeting. But when we would meet, alas, was not revealed to me. So we waited, year after year, and now the hour has come. You sense a strange disturbance around the Vizier. It is similar to the one that appears around Cabela, but stronger. He is not a psyker, or else he is such a powerful one that he can conceal his gift. However, his psychotic potential is definitely higher than that of an average mortal. There are people like that in the Imperium, undiscovered by inquisitorial hunters. They live out their lives as individuals with a reputation for having strange things happen to them on occasion. Perhaps this decrepit old man is indeed capable of gleaning something more from the Emperor's tarot than just painted pictures. Vizier. Is this some sort of title? It is the name we give to the first spinner, the one who has learnt the wisdom of the tenets of the web in order to lead others. I may have a duty to instruct and spin bloody threads, but in all other ways, I am as much his servant and yours as anyone else in this temple. So, you just walked to my companions in here the normal way while I had to force to take that jump? The spinners guided them along a different trail. You had to take the step, for only you were meant to become the flagship's blood, Daman. There was no reason to test the faith of those who follow you, for this burden was for their lord to bear. How did you manage to erect an entire temple in the middle of the ship without anyone noticing? Followers of the cult once inhabited the tunnels between the bay's bulkheads until the threads of fate were tangled, and a daemon of ages past gave us this compartment. We set ourselves to build spacious halls where the shadows, the images of him, and the spinners themselves would whisper of death. And thus the temple that you see began to change with the succession of viziers and the cult's generations. We are building it still, slowly but surely. Well, I have walked the path of the matriarch spider. What now? The Song of Trailing Blood tells of a path fraught with perils, with trials. By accepting it and setting out on that path, you pass the first one, the trial of resolve. For not everyone is prepared to shun their fear and doubt and embark on a search for the unknown, a search for death. The trial of compassion was the second one. You passed it when you put yourself, albeit briefly, in the service of another soul, a man suffering from burns. But the choice between life and death is to be made only by those willing to take responsibility for the pain of another. The third was the trial of justice. In assuming the role of judge for an apostate of our faith, you declared your right to influence the balance of life and death that the errant soul had upset. And the fourth was the trial of duty, for duty always leads to death. We are prepared to render our duty to the Undying One, fearless and accepting of our purpose, which is to serve him. You too have proven yourself prepared, and the 4 trials have brought you here. Well, the path I have walked has helped me understand myself better. For the tenets teach us that the lesson learned is in itself the supreme reward for one who is open to self-discovery. The vizier's sewn-shut eyes seem to peer into your face, studying it. Then he turns away and speaks into empty space again. Peace, my brother. Time has almost come. I see your eyes are sewn shut. Are you blind, or is that another of the cult's rituals? I was sighted for much of my life, until a disciple of mine violated the tenets and I realized just how blind I had been. A lesson, but a bitter one. To look with one's eyes alone is to be easily fooled, but the heart cannot be lied to. Such is the truth, and such was my choice. I sealed my eyelids with the geas of true sight, and now I see more and better. Who is it you talk to all the time? The vizier turns his head as if looking around the temple. I see echoes of those who came before us and those who were with us, but have since crossed over to the other side. My brothers and sisters raised by the cult. I hear them from beyond their deaths. They share their wisdom. I heed them. The other spinners they hear not, for that burden is mine to bear. So this entire conversation is another test, I imagine. A smile graces the vizier's bluish lips. The tenets command us to prepare for all trials, corporeal and spiritual alike. Are you prepared, Daman Holt? His mouth closes, but you can still hear the whisper. A prickling sensation in your face is making you increasingly anxious. You raise a hand to your cheek only to realize you can't feel it. You look at your palm and see a few smudged drops of blood from the vizier's blade. A strange, serene calm envelopes your body. Your fatigue subsides and you seem to float in the air, seeing things that you had not noticed before. Shadows in the corners taking on shape and color. The subdued lumen light playing on the cultist bone masks. Are they really masks? Their tall, lean, empty-eyed wearers might as well be dead people. A chill runs down your spine. Your heart is beating slowly. Your breathing has become deeper and your thoughts are muddled. You seem to be under the influence of a potent stimulant. What happens now? That is for you to tell me, the Vizier says. You look at the Vizier, and his trembling frame seems small and insignificant. A single step is all it would take to crush him, but the visions are starting to wear off, and now the old man towers over you. The keen gaze of his sealed eyes is studying your every movement, waiting for a response. Now, you are going to initiate me as a servant of death. A servant of death, hiss the echoing whispers from the temple, and the Vizier bows his head reverently. You have become the blood of the Flagship. Now you will become one of his faithful servants. We may not name you a spinner, for a spinner's thread demands the forsaking of one's previous life, but the blood-spun web will still accept you. The tenets allow it, but only for a Daman who has followed the trailing blood until the end. And so there we are, the fountain of blood. Oh my goodness. It's a bloodbath. More skulls. Upon the ritual platform at the undying Emperor's feet, under the keen gaze of his dark, empty eye sockets, you feel completely insignificant. Surprisingly, the thick blood pouring from his hands onto your brow, chest, and shoulders is still warm. Bowed before his image, the Vizier assumes the ceremonial postures with incredible ease, his withered body moving swiftly and soundlessly. You are slowly plunged into darkness to the sound of ritual chants and swooshing blades. Amid the noise of splashing blood and the cultist whispers, you hear the words, "Death has spoken your name, Daman. Death accepts you." A familiar whisper is scratching at the periphery of your consciousness. Or is it an inner voice? Even if he hears you, what does he care? He did not save Theodora. He will not save you either. You are not his chosen one. But what if you offer a prayer to the gods that are truly immortal, the ones who do not hold back with their gifts, the ones who are always willing to accept? Oh, really? You can whisper words of corruption if you want to be a heretic. Offer a prayer to the undying. Each word consecrated to him echoes in your temples and chest. Your veins become hot and your blood turns to liquid flame. You have no fear in you. A whisper seems to come from above, from the Emperor's lips of stone. I see you. Could the lingering intoxication still be playing tricks on your mind? The strange rash you developed in the Freightline's pestilence pit grows pale and scabs over. A healing grace descends upon you. That's the third way I was talking about. I couldn't remember it, but I knew you could get rid of it one other way. The Vizier's voice grows suddenly thunderous and snaps you out of your reflections. Death has accepted you, Daman. Now and for all time you are the Blood Warden and the Undying One's most venerable servant. Felt as if the God Emperor was watching. Too many. He comes during the time of service, in images of blood and whispers from the shadows. But remember that those are mere visions, for true death will not come for you until your time, and it will take your soul gently in its bony hands. So the ritual is complete then. The ritual is complete, but you are not. The Vizier gestures for one of the cultists who is carefully holding a strange garment to come closer. For years we have maintained fealty to the Domini. We have collected sacred symbols and relics. You are the first in 3 generations of lords and ladies to grace this sanctum, and the first of them all to be initiated so. We are grateful. We are uplifted in spirit. Hear our exaltation and accept this gift of vestment sewn from the bones of his faithful with the threads of death. You get the Spinner's Ritual Vestments. 30% armor, it's light, so it won't affect your dodge. You get plus 10% dodge if the wearer is not in cover, and a strength bonus to wounds. The cultists whisper prayers to the Undying One as they help you change your clothes and regain your faculties. And there we are. So we're wearing it. No, we're not. We're not wearing it yet. There it is. The Spinner's Ritual Vestments. So pretty nice. Strength bonus to wounds. We have 40 wounds now, and our dodge is 90. That moves our dodge to 95. A little bit more armor. Strength bonus to wounds gets us 44. It's a nice little thing. There's an improved body. Got the Sin Skin. Can we give that to Cassie? Is that an upgrade for her? Yeah, 5% more dodge if the wearer's agility is 40 or more. It's not, so she won't get that bonus. What about her? Her agility is 40, but it says is more than 40, so that's not going to work either. Okay, so we'll just hang on to that for somebody later. Anyway,
I always keep my options open.
is there any... There's one little piece of loot way back here. So we are now... The blood. Yeah, that one's gone. The blood of... What did it say? What's it called? Become the flagship's blood. Yep. So we have to go leave our mark in this bay. We have to go back to the freight line and talk to the old boy about what we saw down here. I don't think there's anything else in here that we can grab.
Keep your wits about you.
To another compartment. So we want to go to the freight line. The death cultist, a spinner, his face covered in carved, bleeding glyphs, makes a respectful gesture of invitation. Let me show you the way, Daman. Alright, show me the way. To the freight line. Take our same group of people. You actually can shift someone out right now if you want to, but we don't want to. We just want to go talk to the leader of the enforcers and let him know that we did the inspection. And we have a couple ways to improve life for everybody here. We need to go find our guy over here. Edak Fresno. Captain Fresno has acquired a few wounds since your last conversation. Half of his ear is gone, and you notice that he is wearing bloodied bandages under his uniform. Seeing you, he quickly injects himself with a stimulant and straightens. How may I serve, Lord Captain? Were you in a shootout? Yes. There's been a raid on a local gang. We finally cleared out the scoundrels who were smuggling goods to neighboring compartments. No one escaped. Fresno permits himself a brief smile of grim satisfaction. I have finished inspecting the bay. Will there be any orders based on the inspection's conclusions? Yes. What's this? All of the following are required: fuel and a uniform kit. The workers are to be provided with everything they need to service the freight line properly. Food and medicine will be delivered to the bay, and you are to demote any enforcers found to be abusing their authority to the status of workers. The captain needs a moment to handle his confusion. Orders. Understood. And the Nymerius gained educated labor. The flagship's hull integrity is increased by +10. The plating of all sectors of the flagship is increased by +1. The freight line workers study to the best of their ability, applying newly attained knowledge for the betterment of the ship. Thanks to their efforts, logistical operations with the engineering bays have become more efficient, which has opened up new opportunities for fortifying the ship's hull. Alright. Well... Enforcers have been appropriating ration cards from workers returning from their shifts. Why is that? Are you short on provisions? The compartment has just enough food to avoid starvation, Lord Captain. This is why the enforcers are making sure that no serf has more cards than they're supposed to. They used to rip out people's tongues for it, but I reduced the punishment to simply beating the thieves and confiscating all their cards. The orders are to give these cards to workers who are starving due to a lack of work shifts. Not that it helps much, but it's better than nothing. Fresno scoffs. Are there enforcers guilty of misappropriating the confiscated items? Yes. Do those caught stealing receive severe punishment? Absolutely. All right, well, that should be all we need from him. I think that concludes that quest. Time passed, 3 days. It's going to give us an update. Lord Captain here to report. The orders have been carried out. The compartment is already operating according to the new procedures. Wonderful. And that's it. Save game is impossible. Okay. Yeah, so that quest is done now too. Cool. So now we can head to Footfall. So folks,
I always have a
we got to
backup
get
plan.
back to right here to another compartment. Go mosey on up here. But we're ready to move to Footfall and continue on. This part of Cabela's quest is taken care of. And if we can get to the bridge here, we should be able to get rid of that one. Void Ship Bridge. So everyone, you know the drill. This game has been really wonderful to play. I think it says something about the quality of the game that I'm on my 5th playthrough now with this Let's Play series, and I'm still enjoying the heck out of it. So it's been really wonderful. And a final note, and I'll try to mention this at the start of the next episode as well. You should now see a link to my Excel spreadsheet in the description below. And in that Excel spreadsheet, you'll see 2 tabs. One is my Rogue Trader log, and the other is for the builds that I use for my characters. The log, obviously, different things can happen in different orders. So the log is kind of a rough guesstimate. It's my notes that I took as I went through each one of these quests, through each one of these acts. If you're just trying to go in exact strict order that I have it written down, your game may not turn out the same way because you may do things in a different order. But you can scroll up and down through this. In fact, let me do something here. As we get to the end here, let me just show this, the Excel spreadsheet, so we're a little more clear what's going on here. So this part right here, I have the frozen panes at the top, and hopefully those stick, but if you're opening them with a free Excel reader instead of Excel itself, I don't know if they will. I have information at the top that I have just for myself as reminders of stuff that I want to do and have available to, reminders. I want them on the screen at all times, so that's why this is frozen. But the rest of it is the log. There are maps occasionally to remind myself, like this is all of the Bloodspun Web quest for Cabela and all the notes I took, and the map I have that tells me points of interest that I want. Then there's Rykad Minoris. Obviously, when I took these notes, I did the Bloodspun Web before I did Rykad Minoris, but we're already in Act 2 now, so you can see how it's not necessarily in the exact order. There's all the stuff that's going to happen at Abundance at Footfall. There's more maps, more screenshots. Whenever I felt like a screenshot was really helpful, I added it. So you can see this is lengthy. I've got ship combat marked. I use lots of colors, system names. Everything that happens in a system is marked by these big blue banners. So hopefully it kind of makes sense if you want to use that. But most of you are probably interested in this part, which is the builds. And I'm going to remove some of this stuff. This was a mercenary pyro that I used. But I'll clean this up so it's just the characters before I start posting it. And you can scroll sideways and see. So this is what I do. This is my Rogue Trader, Heinrichs, Abelard, Pascal. And the note that I want to make here is the stuff in green. These are their talents that they have when you meet them, and these are fixed and can't be changed even when you try to respec the characters, unless you're using Toy Box. So for instance, Pascal has these 4 when you meet him, Cassia has those 4 when you meet him, and when you finally find Urilette, her whole entire first archetype is taken. You can't do anything about changing this. Jai, when you meet her, this is what she's got, and it's already set in stone. So all you can really do is change what she is. And you can see the choices that I took. Like I said, I made Adira as an executioner, but I've also used her second archetype in different ways. I've done different things with Pascal. I like him as a bounty hunter. Cassia, obviously grand strategist. Figure out your own builds, but if you want to play mine, this is certainly available and you can do it. So folks, as always, thanks for watching. You know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave questions and comments down below. I'll see you next time, and until then, happy gaming, everyone.